Hi there, Malcolm here for my 369th Booktube video, and today I'll be bringing you a book review for City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, book one of the Tyrant Philosophers trilogy. And this is a fantasy story, and I listened to this on Audible and was narrated to me by David Thorpe. I thought did a really good job. However, before I start, there's a massive disclaimer. I started listening to this with my wife when we're driving long distances in the car. Not that we do that very often, and so it's taken nearly 3 years to get through it. And I don't know what it was about David Thorpe's narration. Like I say, I thought he did a really good job, but I found it really hard to concentrate on. And I would remind myself while driving that, oh, I'm supposed to be listening to this, and I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what's going on. And the same could be said for the majority of this story. I had no idea who anybody was, what was going on. You know, and a few months later we'd get back in the car and go somewhere, put this back on again. Who is this? What are we doing? Where are we? So I'm going to give this a low mark, but I didn't give it the reading experience it should have had. And massively disjointed over a huge period of time, and I found David Thorpe didn't maintain my concentration for whatever reason. That out of the way, this is a fantasy story of the first Adrian Tchaikovsky fantasy story I attempted. I've subsequently read Made Things, but it's much shorter and I read it physically. Set in a land that has been occupied by another group of people called the Pals, short for something, I can't remember what, who are trying to basically stamp out any semblance of the people's culture, religion, beliefs, way of life, and imprint over the top of it their own perfect ideals of how people should behave and think and act and all the rest of it. Now, right at the beginning of the book there is a high stakes card game where one of these pals puts in the pot a special magical device which allows transport through the woods to some other realm. Anyway, something happens and this device goes missing. Someone has nicked it, which resulting in a snowballing series of events leading to a massive revolution, uprising from the university particularly. And then there's fallout from that. As far as I can tell, that's basically the plot of book one, but there's a whole bunch of other things going on as well. There's Yaznik, the first character we meet, who's a priest of this little Weasley god, who he calls God, but only he can see him. I thought his storyline was quite interesting, but didn't seem to really reflect on anything that was actually going on. There's Blackmane, who we're told is a terrible, bad person, and we first meet him at one of his hangings, which as usual doesn't go through. But we never actually really see why he's this bad person. We're told repeatedly that he's this bad person, but he's a trader or a spiv or something like that, which I wouldn't say is terrible. And there's a whole bunch of other characters who are either bumped off or I'm not quite sure how they fit into the main story. I guess there's also a Renaissance zombie apocalypse thing happening in some blasted out town area where something terrible happened magically and the population are all these dancing, singing zombies, effectively, and that's highly contagious, and that's an encroaching threat. And they're in what's called the Reproach. But yeah, Renaissance zombie apocalypse, because why not? The book itself apparently comes with a nice map. Of course, that doesn't come through in the Audible version, as well as a dramatis personae, which I think would have been a lot more helpful to have had a reference sheet or something. Mind you, I'm driving, so I couldn't use it anyway. Bottom line, I found this boring, nonsensical, but then I didn't know what was going on, nor how anything was linked to anything else. I will reread it at some point, give it a fair go, because we've got books 2 and 3 there, and these are gorgeous editions as well. I've enjoyed everything else Adrian Tchaikovsky has done, so this does deserve another read by me, preferably not over the course of 3 years. I don't know when I'm going to fit it in, but there you go. So, have you read City of Last Chances? Did you understand what the hell was going on any of the time? Or what did you think about it? Comment down below, please, but as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTube things. If you want, and until next time, see you later.